are you the person that you want to be?
Yes.
Completely.
I think there is potential upwards. So you sometimes, so even if you don't want, you fall out sometimes. You're in between the two frequencies, the old frequency with your old patterns and belief system and everything you grew up and the experiences you've made. Sometimes it's triggered by other people or other environments. And it depends on where you live, the people and whatever, so it's triggered up, and then at some point, sometimes I'm not always like connected to my higher version. I try to, and I'm adapting to my higher frequency, but also sometimes it's like there is a trigger coming, or there is something where I interpretate something in a conversation because it's similar than a conversation I had before, so I'm like, okay, is this like that or that, and I have to reflect. And sometimes I act like the old version of myself, which is feeling triggered. Right. But mostly I'm very aware of it. I take a deep breath and just try to see the situation as it is. To feel, take a deep breath and feel, okay, which person I am now, which version of myself I am now, which version of myself I want to be, and that's how I can interpret this. So, does it match my frequency where I want to stay, or does it match the frequency of the victim self of me? So you can always choose, but sometimes it's sometimes you are emotional in that kind of situations. Sometimes you don't have the time, or you don't give yourself the time to just go out of the situation and reflect, or just breathe in. Sometimes you don't let the space kicking in or you don't let yourself making space to reflect and to act. You don't have to say anything directly, you don't have to act directly, you don't have to react directly. And mostly this is the best tip I can give on this topic. If you're switching between different frequencies, that you just breathe and just see, okay, how do I want to act now to make it to bring a different result on that.
I think it's also a lot about remembering,
yes.
Right? So at some point at some point in your life, you're like, okay, I just don't want to do that shit any longer. I
exactly.
really need to get the fuck out of here. Out of myself, out of the people I like the communities that I'm in, or the place I'm living, whatever. At some point you're just like, it's enough. And I think for me it was also really about, like, this is what for me, and that's what I also teach. This is what meditation is about. You start meditating, and what you experience in meditation is it's a playground, right? You figure out what kind of emotions do I want to feel, what kind of person, if you do meditation for manifesting reasons, of course. And then, or even if you do meditation for calming down the nervous system, is to get in there and explore yourself adventurously. Like, how does it feel? Like, how do I get there? How does it feel when my nervous system is really regulated? How does it feel when I'm the higher version of myself, when I already am the person, and just so you use that, and then that's the hard part, I think, is applying that into your daily routines and into your daily life, and remembering that when you talk to your colleague who's an asshole, that you do not want to react to that, and that you do not want to go there into that fight, that you want to be the other part of the other version of you, and that you then say, look, I get your point, but I'm not at the same level anymore. And it's going to be extremely confusing for others. I used to be like that. I used to just scream. I used to swear. Like I would just flip if someone was triggering me. And at some point, I just decided I don't want to be the person anymore. Yeah. And then I started over and over again to bring up my consciousness during the day. And then it's like it started that I realized after the fight, then I realized in the fight, but I couldn't help it anymore. And then at some point, I eventually got to the point where I remembered when the fight started that I do not want to go there any longer, and I reacted differently. Yeah. And in the end, like, no one is going to say, why don't you fight with me? No, the people are going to stand there and they're like, oh, okay, thanks for understanding me.
It's a frequency,
you know,
yeah.
and then you have a totally different kind of conversation.
Yeah.
And that's with everything, you know. That's just an example again. You can apply that to each subject of your life. You need to remember what you've learned in your meditation, what you've wrote down when you were journaling, and you need to remember. That's why people do vision boards. If you ask me, you need to remember who you want to be in order to become that. Because if you get up and you say, "Oh, I want to be healthy from now on, and I want to lose weight," and then you wake up and you cook yourself like a really awesome breakfast, you're gonna do your workout maybe for like 10-15 minutes, that's just the way you start, right? And then the rest of the day you're gonna sit on the couch and order pizza and go to McDonald's, and then you start next morning with a healthy food. That's not gonna work. And that's the same with the frequency change. You need to remember and keep going. Just keep going. Eventually you will reach your goal.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good point also to visualize it before, because it's about the feeling, you know, the thought connected to the feeling which is attracting your results. So it's not about the thought as itself. And mostly you can say in your mind, I want to be a millionaire, but you know, it's not connected to your body. But if you feel it before in your vision, then you can feel how it feels to be that millionaire, to wake up every day, that you don't have to take care about money anymore. You buy the food you like, you live in the environment you want to be, you are with that kind of people, because why should you choose that kind of people which are just here for money if you can also choose people which are here because of you. This experience, this is maybe not the best example as a millionaire. Let's say the healthy person, you wouldn't choose an environment where they take all day, every day drugs. Right. So at some point, you know, if you experience this first in your meditation, how it feels to be healthy, and if you're addicted now, and you feel that in your meditation, how different it feels, how amazing it feels, at some point you wouldn't choose again that kind of people, because they're always draining your energy. And if you felt that before in your meditation and you adapt this frequency, and then you go into your old environment, for sure you will feel so much different.
Right.
And that's what makes the difference. If you see it before who you want to be, if you feel it in your body, this is the most important thing, I would say. And then you know how it feels, and then you feel the difference between where you are now and where you want to be, because you can experience both. Even if your 3D reality is still the same, but you have experienced another reality already, your body can feel it, and you can visualize everything you've ever dreamed of. So it's also, you can sit on the sofa, but you can visualize going into the supermarket, you know, so you don't have to be there, you can be there in your mind. And this kind of feeling, integrating now the kind of feeling, adapting to that frequency, and then make the change in the 3D reality. So in your natural life you have now, this is the thing. And then at some point it's getting easier. You react differently. You see, nothing happens. It's easy. And then you do it and continue over and over again, and then you come out of your survival self.
Right.
And so sometimes it's hard in the beginning, but I would say the more often you choose yourself, and the more often you visualize who you want to become, the easier it gets. So at some point, let it go is easier, because you know who you want to be, and you know these people are not serving you.
Right. And there's such a beauty of freedom comes with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you choose that, it's really just, again, so like true. This is how we started. Yeah. This is just about choosing you and choosing the life that you want to live. And if you choose to just let go and to just quit the things that are not suitable for you anymore, there comes like this lightness and this freedom with it that's just magical.
Yeah.
I love those moments. I love those moments where I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with that. And it's let go.
Yeah, you can't fake this feeling. That's what I mean.
Yeah, totally.
It's about, if you do it in your mind, it's different. You have to feel it. And that's why, and this feeling of, okay, I'm done with the situation, and this success inside of you, but also not, it's peace, it's freedom, as you said.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Good music here.
Peace and freedom, that's what everyone wants.
Yeah.
That's what we teach. Peace and freedom.
Exactly. Peace and freedom. Yeah.
Thank you for that conversation, honey.
Thank you as well.